শেষ অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোনে আপনাদের সঙ্গে আছি আমি সৈয়দ আশিক রহমান। আমাদের আজকের অতিথি বাংলাদেশে নিযুক্ত জার্মান ডেভেলপমেন্ট কোঅপারেশন GIZ এর কান্ট্রি ডিরেক্টর মিস্টার তোবিয়াস বেকার এবং KfW ডেভেলপমেন্ট ব্যাংকের কান্ট্রি ডিরেক্টর মিস্টার ডেভিড কোনজে। Very welcome to our studio, Mr. Baker and Mr. David. Well, would you please share your experience so far with us?
Thanks for inviting us, Mr. Rahman, to your show. It's a pleasure to be here. Looking back the last 6 months since I assumed office of the GIZ country office here in Bangladesh, I have to say I'm really impressed with the cooperation spirits of our Bangladeshi counterparts and also of the working spirit of my team. I have worked the last 20 years of my professional career in development cooperation, and out of this actually 15 years in the Southeast Asia region. I worked in China, in Afghanistan and in Pakistan on issues like environment and energy, climate change and public management. All of these challenges are also posing significant challenges to Bangladesh today. I hope that during my time here in Bangladesh, I will be able to steer the work of the GIZ in a manner that we can support our counterparts to make a useful contribution to achieve the Vision 2021 of Bangladesh.
Thank you very much. Mr. David Kunze.
I'm in the country since nearly 2.5 years, and what makes the place unique from my point of view are the people. Yeah, they are really hardworking, they are very motivated, and they are always with some friendly attitude, especially towards foreigners.
Thank you. Mr. Baker, what are the key achievements of the partnership in development?
To date, the German government, in particular the Federal Ministry of Economic Development and Cooperation, has provided up to 2.6 billion euros. If we look into the cooperation with the Bangladesh governments, we can really look back on successful cooperation in implementing a lot of different projects. We work, for example, in energy. We work together with organizations who have been able to provide 1.5 million energy efficiency cook stoves, the Bondu Chula, to families. So we could achieve that over 1.5 million families are now using less firewood, save money, and live a healthier life, in particular small children and women, because there is less smoke in their houses.
What could KfW achieve so far, and what challenges do you face before?
KfW, German Development Bank, actually is in this country since 1966. Yeah, by that the country still had a different name. It was Eastern Pakistan.
1966.
1966, but our first project agreement was signed by then. And somehow in this 40 plus years of development cooperation, round about 1.9 billion euros have been somehow implemented by KfW on behalf of the German government. Of course, during this time, we were going through different phases. Yeah, we were also going through ups and downs. But I think overall, our cooperation can be considered to be quite successful. Yeah. In the energy sector, for example, we have a very long history in supporting one power plant, the power plant of Ashuganj. Somehow, from our point of view, we always say we adopted it like a child, yeah, like our child, and led it through different phases, accompanied it. We provided financing of turbines. We somehow supported rehabilitation, modernization of the power plant, and still we are involved and we are supporting it. Other development partners introduced renewable energies or supported to introduce and to expand renewable energies in the country. In the health sector, we have a very long history of cooperation with the Ministry of Health and different entities. Another field where we have some kind of long-lasting history of support and cooperation is local development, decentralization. From our side, it is then mainly financing of local infrastructure, which comes together in a cooperation with our colleagues from German Technical Cooperation in strengthening somehow local capacities.
Well, for development local facilities, what are the key challenges, do you think?
I mean, one key challenge that we see is somehow further strengthening of decentralization. Purashava administration, city corporations,
to really
bring them in a position that they can take care of the issues that are relevant for the people living in the city or in the Purashava. And this, from our point of view, is somehow the right approach to
develop,
to empower them somehow.
Oh, great. Well, data suggests German Development Corporation assistance already improved the living condition of Bangladesh.
If you look, the German and the Bangladesh government, they focus their cooperation on three main areas. One is renewable energy and energy efficiency. The second one focusing on good governance, rule of law and human rights. And the third one on climate adaptation in urban areas. If you look in energy, energy of course is essential for development, in particular in the rural areas where still 70% of the Bangladeshi population is living. And if you look at remote areas like, for example, Dakop, which is a Upazila in the Khulna district, it's so remote that still in the next 20 years it will not be possible to connect this Upazila to the national grid. So what to do then? What is the alternative? We, together also with the KfW, have supported the Bangladeshi partners in distribution over 420,000 so-called solar home systems. These are little systems which have 2 bulbs which can be installed, and I had the chance to talk to one woman from Dakop, Afrosa, and she told me that they were able to buy such kind of system, and after it was with support of GIZ subsidized.
What is it's a bit easier system?
Yeah, it's a system which has a little solar panel, which is and a battery, which is then charged during the daylight through the sunlight, and then they can use the energy stored in the battery during the night. So now they have light in the evening, so their 2 sons can study, learn. She can do some household work, do some extra knitting, sell it on the market. And most important, she told me, important was for her, she doesn't have to worry about raising food prices on kerosene and this. Anymore.
Oh, great. It means there is development. Would you like to add something, Mr. David?
Yeah, maybe somehow at first sight, small issue that really can make a change also from the energy sector, which has been supported by German Development Corporation as a so-called prepayment meters. And actually, these are meters, that record the usage of electricity. But they work like a prepaid mobile phone. Yeah, so you charge meter on the meter.
Exactly.
On the meter, and then it is very transparent.
Like mobile phone prepaid.
Exactly. It is prepaid, not postpaid. This is the main difference. But then it is very transparent. You know how much money is on your meter. Yeah. And
what is your credit and what is else?
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And you don't have these hassles with bill payments and unclear bills and payments you are requested to pay, and somehow
what is your balance and when you must charge your electricity again.
Yeah. And the other advantage is that it's also for the energy entity. It's a huge advantage because they don't have to run behind the bills. Yeah, they have a 100% bill collection rate. And for the energy distributors, this is a major problem to really get the money for the energy that has been consumed on a household level. And somehow the third advantage of this prepayment meters is that as it is transparent for the consumer, for the end user, how much energy is actually consumed, he is much more aware and also conscious about his energy consumption. Yeah, so it somehow increases his behavior, and it leads into a more energy efficient behavior.
If you look, we work in biodiversity and deforestation. And as we all know, more than 50% of the forest's land in Bangladesh has already disappeared due to communities who had to cut trees to make out a living. So we are focusing with projects to create alternative income generation in that regard.
Tell me please, how we can solve our energy problem?
First of all, it needs to be said that there has been huge developments in the last years with regard especially to the capacities, and load shedding has been reduced. But still in the energy sector there are also huge challenges. And I mean, one major challenge is somehow the source where the energy should come from. Still somehow majority of the energy is generated out of gas, but all of us know that some of the gas reserves, the national gas reserves, will decline. Yeah, starting from 2017, and then the question comes up: what should somehow replace somehow the gas, and what from somehow our point of view is relevant and is a topic where we are also trying to support our Bangladeshi partners is the promotion of renewable energies. Yeah, because Germany as a country as such is putting high importance on renewable energies also within Germany, but also in the development cooperation. And I think also here in Bangladesh, our activities, we already did a lot, and most probably in the future we will continue to support the Bangladeshis in this particular field. Renewable technology is very relevant for Bangladesh. Is in any case solar energy, yeah, because you have a lot of sun. Yeah, and this is already a main focus of the government and also of the development cooperation, also from the German side. And I think in the future there's more potential to generate energy from this source.
From the solar.
The solar.
Thank you very much. Mr. Baker and Mr. David, we'll talk more after a short break. দর্শক দেখছেন আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন বিষয়ক আরটিভির বিশেষ অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোন। এই পর্যায়ে নিচ্ছি বিরতি, ফিরছি একটু পরে। সে পর্যন্ত দর্শক আবারও আমন্ত্রণ আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন বিষয়ক আরটিভির বিশেষ অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোনে। আপনাদের সঙ্গে আছে আমি সৈয়দ আশিক রহমান। ওয়েলকাম এগেইন টু RTV স্টুডিও। লেটস টক অ্যাবাউট RMG sector. You work with Rana Plaza and it's 1 year past after the incident. What is your observation so far?
The Rana Plaza incident and also the Tasreen fire were Tasreen fires were tragedies. We deeply emphasize with the victims and their families. The international buyers, the government, and also the factory owners have understood that there must be a change. GIZ has working with the IMG sectors, together with national partners already since 2010, to work with 650 factories and looking to improve working conditions and fire safety. The crucial point is for labor inspections is to have enough manpower to actually conduct labor inspections. Before Rana Plaza, we had only 20 labor inspectors for 5,500 factories. So manpower and even transport modalities were not sufficient. GIZ, together with ILO, supported the partners and the Bangladesh government so that now we have around 160 labor inspectors which are trained or undergoing training. And in addition to this, we donated 20 motorcycles to the Ministry of Labor and Employment, so that now the labor inspectors can do unannounced factory visit. Of course, great. Unannounced means there is more transparency and there's less dependency on the factory owners who erstwhile were responsible for their transport.
Mr. Baker, German Development Corporation is working with prisoners. Could you please elaborate on the matter?
At least 70% are people who are locked away awaiting trial. And a waiting trial might last as long as 15 years or longer. And in many cases, these people are locked up for a longer time than the possible jail term they would have to take if convicted. GIZ is working to the rehabilitation of prisoners to reduce the waiting time for trial, for support the release and the reintegration of the released into society and get their support.
It means you are working on human rights. It comes.
We support Bangladeshi partners in the judiciary, in the police, and also in the prisons and NGOs assisting with working on legal assistance to support that unconvicted people are released from prison. Till today, it was possible to release over 4,000 people.
Oh, 4,000 people already you released?
Yeah, I met one of this person, Rashid from Bogra, and he told me that he almost missed out of one generation of his family.
My God.
When he was taken into custody, he was accompanied by his 14-year-old daughter. When he was released, the first person who received him was his 14-year-old granddaughter.
Oh, it's so sad. And you did a great job, and we're thankful to you. And I believe that kind of support will be always in coming days from your German government is doing great job for us. What you want to see Bangladesh after 10 years?
Of course, we would like to see, or we would love to see Bangladesh being a middle-income country by then. 10 years would be 2024.
Exactly.
Yeah. Of course, we would like to see in the energy sector that there's energy for all. Yeah, 100% electrification rate. We would like to see that there's an increased cooperation among the neighboring countries on this very specific topic. We would like to see that there's a huge share of renewable energies when it comes to somehow the sources where the energy comes from. With regard to the climate change topic, our vision is, and we are somehow hardly working to make it reality with our Bangladeshi partners to prepare the city administrations, to prepare the national ministries here to somehow better include this phenomenon into their plans, into their thinking, into their minds, to strengthen the infrastructure in the cities, especially in the coastal belt, which is somehow first hit when cyclones somehow land on Bangladeshi soil. Also to support the most vulnerable people in these cities, that usually live in slum areas, very low-lying areas that are flooded immediately when the seawater level rises. Yeah, so this is somehow our vision, where we closely and sincerely work together with our partners on the Bangladeshi side.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Our expectation also to work together, and we'll see middle-income country within 10 years. Thank you, Mr. Baker.
Of course, the support that Bangladesh becomes a middle-income country is something also the GIZ supports all our national partners. And I think if we look in the good governance, it's important to strengthen the local governmental services and the participatory decision-making processes on local level. In addition, I believe that accountability is important for sustainable development of a society. If we look at the RMG sector, which is very important to the economic development of Bangladesh, quality and efficiency will be two key success factors. And you can only achieve improvement in quality and in efficiency with qualified workers and employees. So it is a must for the company owners to invest in training, in skills development, and in improving the working conditions.
David and Mr. Baker, thank you very much to be with us. And I believe there is some message for our viewers. They will be happy to learn from you. দর্শক, বাংলাদেশের উন্নয়নে জার্মান ডেভেলপমেন্ট কোঅপারেশন বিভিন্নভাবে সহযোগিতা করে আসছে, বিশেষ করে তৈরি পোশাক রপ্তানি থেকে শুরু করে প্রাইভেট সেক্টরের উন্নয়ন। বাংলাদেশের অর্থনৈতিক উন্নয়নের জার্মানের এই সহযোগিতা ভবিষ্যতে অব্যাহত থাকবে, এই প্রত্যাশা শেষ করছি আজকের ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোন। এতক্ষণ আমাদের সঙ্গে থাকার জন্য ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে।